You're learning how to use Excel for engineering calculations. I also want to show you how you can use it to do illustrations and specifically flowcharts. So all the things that I'm going to show you are tools that are also in PowerPoint. Sometimes it's easier to use PowerPoint for flowcharts like process flows, like we're learning how to do, trying to lay out the what's for how something is made or the processes that are involved in something. Excel's great for that. Okay, so the first thing you need to do, just to make it easier, is to get an idea of how much room you have to work on the page. So here's what I like to do. I like to come in here and I'm going to center that. And now I'm going to go highlight and go down for a ways. And you remember this guy where we can fill in and we can say series, we're going across the rows. Okay, that looks good like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to print. So I'm going to say, okay, file, print. I'm going to wait for the preview to come up. My computer's kind of slow. It takes it a while to go. And now I look down here and I see, okay, I could go from 1 to 9 and it still fit on my page. But there's a couple of things. If I'm doing a flowchart, I'm probably going to want to go across the page. So I'm going to change that to landscape. There it goes. Now I can see I can go all the way to 13. The other thing is I'm going to change my margin. So I'm going to come down here and say custom margins. And it's crazy how every time it accesses the printer and takes so much. And I probably don't need that much margin on my left and right. I really don't need it on my top or bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and change all those right now. And now I can see, okay, so I can go from 1 to 14. That's how much room I have on the page. Just normal font. I realize I can scale things. I can shrink it, all that. I'm just trying to see, without shrinking any of that, how much room do I have? So I have from 1 to 14. And you notice now that I've gone and printed, it's showing me that. Okay, so that's the first thing, to know how much room I have. The other thing is to get my boxes set up. So I'm going to come up here and say Insert. I'm going to say Shapes. And I find this guy right here does a good job of giving me it doesn't have a lot of wasted room in terms of the words wrap pretty good in that. So the first thing that I have in my process for the hammer is cut to length. So I'm going to say cut to length. When I click on that, I can just type. Okay, so now I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to right click on this. I'm going to say Format Shape. I'm going to click right there. Now I'm going to go into text box. So one thing I'm going to do is I don't need that much margin. I do need a little bit. So I'm going to change the left and the right to 0.05 also. So that's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to tell it to wrap text. That's already on there. And I'm going to tell it to resize the shape to fit the text in there. So see, that way, if I make this smaller, see how it starts to get bigger? It resizes it. So that way, it's going to make the shape as small as it can be to fit it. Now, if I wanted them all to be the same size, I wouldn't do that. Okay, so I've got that done, so I'm going to close that. Then I'm going to set the fill. So I'm going to go Shape Fill, and I like to use that guy. And then I need to go home and change my font color, and I'm going to make it black. Okay, yeah, I like that box. Or you may look at that and say, you know what? Where did that go? Drawing tools. Yeah, see, that's where you get the shape fill. You know what? No, I just want it white. It's up to you. It's whatever you want, or you may want a different color or whatever. Sometimes I kind of like blue, so I'm going to put that light blue down there, okay? And then I don't remember if I did it or not. I'm going to go home and I'm going to hit copy. I'm going to hit the center in both directions. So that way, that's my basic operation. So when I have a process, and I can go from here all the way down to there. So now what I can do is I can hold down the control key, come over this, pull another one, and then now I can type in my next operation, which is heat until it's malleable. And so I'll type that in. I don't remember exactly how to spell malleable. I'll look that up, etc., etc. So I've put all of them in. You can see I've got it here. The other thing I want you to show you is I had already typed some of these in with a different format. One of the things you can do is you can click on one of these guys and get Format Painter. And now go click on that guy and you can easily make them all the same just by clicking, going down through there. Okay, now on my cutoff excess I had scrap, and I want to note that. So I'm going to say Insert, go to Shapes, I'm going to get the text box, come down here, just click somewhere and type scrap. Perfect. Okay, and I'm going to come back and put some arrows and stuff in, but I want to just get that right there. Okay, the other thing is I wanted to put my raw material. So back here, my raw material is, I've got my steel rod. In fact, really I could just say cut to length. So I'm going to delete that. I'm just going to say cut to length because my steel rod is what comes in. But I can't quite fit that in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it down. I'm getting a little on the edge. So now these guys, what I'd really like to do is move him over, bring my steel rod in, and see, that looks pretty good. Then I want to spread all this. I can go all the way to 14. So I'm going to stop. I'm not going to go all the way to 14. I'm going to give myself a little room. I'm going to stop at 13. I think when I printed, let me look and see. Let's see if I can go all the way to the end of 14. In fact, I'm just going to put this in here. And then now let me go look and see. What does it look like when I print? Okay, I forgot. I got to change that guy back. And I changed tabs. Every tab has its own printing setting, so I also need to go back and look at my margins and see. They might not stay there, but that did get it all the way there. I just want to look and see if it changed. Yeah. Let me go. Okay, so there, that way. Everything's good, beautiful. Okay, so that will let me go all the way to the end, so I like that there. And so now what I can do is I can go in and I can click on all of these, and I'm going to leave that scrap right there, and I can say Drawing Tools, and I can say Align, and I can say Distribute Horizontally. So now it spreads them all out. The other thing I can do is I can get them all lined up with each other. So I can say Align, and there's a line center and a line middle. I always forget which is which. Whoop, it wasn't that one. So then I just undo and say Align, Align Middle. So there you go. So you see now I got those all lined up really nicely. Scrap goes down there with this guy. And now I can put some lines in here, some connectors. So you see these guys right here are connectors. So if I click on it, see how it goes right there to there? Now if I move these guys, that connector moves with me. Now I don't want to do that. And so now I can just real quick come in here and I can connect all of these. And I can even come right here and go down and connect my scrap right there. I can even come here and connect that right there. But I'm going to have to move this up so it looks a little better. But you see I show my steel rod flowing in. Then I've got the block showing my process, cut to length. And then I can finish this up. So where did that guy go? You're like, whoa, whoa. Oh yeah, remember, Insert. And then I got Shapes. And then once I use them, that menu will show up there for me. Okay, perfect. Very nice. Okay, and then going from here to here, I got a couple options. I could move him in just a little bit. Now, if I hold the Shift key down, it stays straight. You see, it doesn't let me go up or down. It just lets me move along that line. I'm going to move him in just a little bit. So one thing I could do if I wanted to is I could use this guy. And if it's not there, you click here and you get all of them. So I could use this guy, turn my lights back on, and I could go right. Did I click him? Yeah, I did. So hang on just a second. Let's start over with that. Insert, shapes, click on that guy. Yeah, with everything selected, it made it a little confused. So I'm holding the left key down until I get over here. And now I let go. So I could have done something like that, or I could have just brought these two down and lined them up with each other. It's totally preference what I like to do. Okay, so I'm going to go and get the rest of those filled in. Okay, so that's all those. And I'm going to do a couple things. First, I'm going to do just like I did before. I'm going to highlight all these guys and line them up. Now I remember which it is. It's the middle. And I could tighten these up a little bit. And then the other thing I'm going to do is under temper, in my process, I wanted to remember two things. I wanted to remember that I heated it and I quenched it. So I'm going to come down and copy that guy. I held down the control key and pulled it and copied it. So I'm going to say heat, make him a lot smaller. I don't need him that big. In fact, I'm even going to come in here and make that a 10 font. I meant to make all these 12 before I started. That was my mistake. That's the thing when you first do your first block, get everything about it like you want, because then you're going to copy it for all these. So there's heat. Whoops. See how I had that guy up there selected at the same time? I didn't mean to do that. So control, pull him, and now I'm going to say quench. And I'm not sure if that's how you spell quench or not, so what I'm going to do real quick is do a spell check. Yep, there it is right there. Quench, and I'm going to change all those. Start from the beginning. Yep, okay, so everything's spelled correctly. That's wonderful. Okay, I'm going to go home so I can see that's 10 too, so I'm going to make him as small as he can. Then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight on both of those, go to Drawing Tools, Shape Fill, and make them white. Since they're kind of the detail under temper, I'm going to come up like, bring them up like this. That's just kind of shows that they're different. They're showing the detail under that. And then I could do more. I could spread this out. Whoops. I didn't mean to actually move it. I could spread it out, do all other kinds of things I wanted to, or just continue on from here. So I looked at it, and from here, I've got two different kinds of handles. So I'm going to jump and do the handles and then kind of see how I want them to put together. So you see, here's the first type of handle. I put these in, and when I look at this, I'm like, you know what? That box is too tall. I'm gonna open it up a little bit. And this guy, yeah, I'd rather him go kind of like that. So I'm going to get these set. Then I'll spread them out a little bit and put all my lines in there. So I'll show you on this one. I'm gonna click on this guy, and I'm gonna bring him all the way. I want to leave a little bit of room. I'm gonna bring him to about right there, and yeah, I'm gonna let him be in a little bit from there. So now I can spread these guys out. So I'm gonna do just like I did before, and I'm gonna say Drawing Tools, Align, Distribute Horizontally. So those guys all are there. And then remember I just said Insert Shapes, and I clicked on that. When it gets on that bubble there, when I roll over it, now I hold the left button down, I keep it down, and then pull it right to there. And now I'm just going to do the rest for those other ones. And everything looks pretty good, except I need to line them up the other direction. And so I'm going to highlight all these. I'm just going to forget about the dip and dry. I'm just going to say align middle. It's going to move those guys around, and now I can get dip and dry and just put them where I want. There we go. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the other kind of handle. Okay, so I've got the two kinds of handles. So you see right here, here's the fancy handle with the sub-assembly. And then here's the molded plastic handle that they mold and then grind. So the hammer's right here. After it's polished, in fact, if I want to, I'm going to take that and hold down copy, bring it over here, just to be clear, it's a hammer flowing through. So what I want to do is I want to come to here, and I want to come to here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, and I'm going to insert a little circle. So I'm going to say shapes, and I'm going to say circle, and I'm going to go like this. I'm going to hold the shift key down, and that makes it a perfect circle. And I'm going to come about like that because I just want to use that as a divider for me. So I'm going to come down in my shapes, and I'm going to get this. So I'm going to go from here to right there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go from my circle up to here. And then I'm going to go over to this other handle. But I want this handle to be right even with the front here, just to look nice. So here's what I'm going to do. First thing is, I always am going to move these together, so I'm going to group them. I'm going to right click and say group, or I could have come up to drawing tools and said group, and now I can group them. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this up here so I can eyeball it and get it lined up. Now I'm going to hold, whoops, and I'm going to put it right there, and now I'm going to drop it. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the shift key down, and now I can move it, and it only moves in that direction. I had to drop it before I could do the shift key. Okay, so I'm thinking like, okay, that's probably enough space between those two guys. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this guy here. And whoops, I got to unselect that or it confuses it. There we go. Now I'm going to say insert shapes, get that guy right there. Come to that same place. Hold down and then bammo, pull him. Now sometimes these don't line up completely, and you see you can move them like this and get them lined up yourself if it didn't line up exactly where you want it. So you see that shows, and I want my hammer too because I want to make it really clear that it is the hammer coming down through here. In fact, I could even put it on like that, and if I want to, if it's hard to see the words, I then can click on that guy and go up to my shape fill and make it white. And so that way it's very clear, it breaks the line so I can see it. It comes down. And then what I would do is I would also get this, and I would say, I would come in here, and I might even do it right here. I may say molded handle. And I'm going to make that smaller so it wraps. And then center it. There we go. Now I can make it a little small. There we go. And I can put that guy right there. And then I would come up here and see how, notice that doesn't quite fit in there okay? Well, that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this come in this way a little bit more smaller. And then I'm going to click on this guy. Yep, do the same thing. So now it'll fit in, and I'll say special or custom handle. I'm sure the company has some name. You get the idea. All I'm trying to do is clearly show the flows that are going. And just like I did before, if I really want, if I'm anal about stuff, I can come in here and say drawing tools, align center. So see, now those guys are perfectly lined up. And so now I've got a steel rod. It's going through all these processes. The hammer comes through here. It flows down, custom handle, molded, M-O-L-D-E, molded handle. Get rid of that R. Very molded handle. And then the other thing that I could do if I was trying to be complete is I could come in here and I could say leather rings. I could even say some of the plastic, and I could show that. Whoops, I wouldn't want that guy. I'd probably want and you've got other ones. Let's say I want it to be a little stylish. I could bring this guy in here. And you see how and I can shape how it, curves and stuff around there. But I could show the leather rings are combined in right there. And then I'm going to grind the handle so I could line him up, etc., etc. Okay, so you see that's a way as you start to have things diverge a way to show it. If I had decided to go down the page with all this, then that would have been very easy to show across the page, but it would have made a really long page going down. So that's why I decided to kind of weave like this. Okay, but now there's a few operations that come after these two. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to kind of bring this guy all the way down. In fact, I'm going to take this and this. I'm going to move this guy in just a little bit. Yep, and now I'm going to spread all these out some. So I'm going to say align, distribute horizontally, that's good. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my little circle and I'm going to copy it and then move somewhere and paste it. And then now bring him up. And I'm going to use that to bring these back together. So just like I did before, I'm going to insert, I'm going to get that guy. And I'm going to bring it in, bring them both into the front. There we go. Get that guy right there, what I want. Bring him right into the front. Perfect. Now this is what I'm talking about. See how they didn't quite line up together? That's okay. I'm just going to move it down like that. And then now what I can do is the next operation that they both went through was it stamped the model number. So I could add that on here. And then if I wanted to again be a little stylish, I could grab this guy, get it off of the end of my circle, bring it right there. And then I could just add the rest of them, which I'm going to do real quick. Okay, so here it is after I've added that last. So you see it comes down, you stamp the model, protective coating, stamp the company, quality check. There's going to be some hammers for rework, the final seal, and finished hammer. And so notice too that, see the dotted line is telling me I'm little past the page. Well, that's okay. That's why you have scaling and all that kind of stuff. If I want to fit it on one page, I can. So I'm going to come up, and the reason why I did this at the beginning, so I can roughly get it to fit, so I don't have to do a lot of scaling. So now I can come up here and get rid of all that. I don't need that. What I do want is I'd like to put a title on it. So I'm going to come right there, and I'm going to merge and center all those. And I'm going to say process flow for hammer making. Very nice. And I probably want to make that a little bigger, maybe 14, bold it. That looks nice. There's my finished hammer. Notice I bolded it. I could have made it a little bigger. See, all your text things work with all that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right here because that gets that. Or I could take this guy, move it up just a little. I don't like that. I could actually, so I'm going to move it there. So I need to get highlight. Okay, yeah. So see that cell catches that. I'm going to come up here to the very top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say page layout, print area, set print area. So now when I print, that's what it's going to print. It's going to print whatever that print area is unless I tell it otherwise. So now I can say file, print. And some of it's cut off, but that's okay because I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say fit sheet to one page. So now it's doing its magic. My computer has to access. So see, it shrunk it all just a little bit. And so now I've got my process flow for how the hammer's made. So that just shows you another tool that you've got when you want to illustrate things, especially process flows. Excel is a great way to do this. I'm going to save this guy. Because now if I decided, I really don't like all this, I want to rearrange how all this works, I could come in here and I could select all of these guys. And I don't think I grouped those. Nope, I didn't group those. I don't have to select all the arrows because they're connected. And now I could move all that. Let's say I wanted it 2 pages. Well, see, I could just move that down to another page. I can move that whole section just like that. Or I wanted to rearrange this whole thing and turn all that sideways. I could easily do that. I may have to undo a few arrows and then do them back. But there is software for doing flowcharts. When you do a lot of flowcharts, it's worth learning some of that software. But for simple things, for a few things like you're doing here, I just wanted to show you, you've always got this tool in Excel to be able to do this kind of thing.